Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Back into it and back at it. You've got The Local Show with Tom and Steve right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And of course on YouTube, where you can see the action. A lot of times we have food and products and
there's no food
just
here right now,
general.
Tom.
No, there's nothing. But you still want to see it because it's interesting to see what goes on.
To watch you eat.
How we flap our arms and, roll our eyes and all that kind of fun stuff.
It happens. I flap my arms. I was in Lori, who pretty much runs the company here.
Yes.
And the other day, and she had her big water bottle, kind of like mine if you're on YouTube.
Which is a cool water bottle. Is that a sticker of us
it's
on
a sticker,
there?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a sticker. Right?
I didn't know whether you had them custom made.
So my physicians said drink water, and then my wife says drink water, and I talked to someone else and they said drink water. So I'm trying to drink water. So I got to go to the bathroom, Tom. The rest of the set's on you.
Well, I've told you that in the past. I drink a lot of water to stay hydrated, but then, guys our age.
Yeah, but Tom, when I look at you, I don't think I want to be like him.
Yeah,
so I haven't really listened to you. So
you would do good to be at least a portion of me. It's our pleasure to bring on Pastor Josh Lange. He's the pastor at Redeemer Church here in Syracuse, and he's always good to level us out right here. How you doing there, Josh?
I'm doing well. Don't ask me for a miracle this morning.
Any miracles?
Yes.
No.
Can you make the smoke vanish more this week? Pastor
Josh, how long have you been a pastor?
I've been on staff at our church for, 24 years at this point.
Gracious.
And I think my official licensing papers came in 2004, maybe a few years in.
And where did you go to get that license?
Well, that is something that through our church was given to me, but my theological education, that was at Regent University.
And where's that?
In Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh, but that's nice, huh?
Well, no, it was all distance learning. So,
okay, you didn't go there. Huh?
Yeah, via Utica.
That is wonderful. As a pastor, what is it your job to do at the church?
Well, primarily, what we're doing is proclaiming the gospel, and we are trying to help people in following Jesus Christ. And so the Apostle Paul said this: "Follow me as I follow Christ." And so, in a lot of ways, and in some ways, this sounds a little bit morbid, but I'm preparing people to die. You know what I mean? And because in this life, Christianity has a lot to say to our here and now, but also where we're going.
Right. So, I guess it could be said that in Christianity, you die to live.
Yes.
I think someone said it in the Bible, too. Did they die?
I think it might be somewhere.
Yeah. Right. It's interesting. People who may be struggling and on a journey, and they're wondering, what does this all mean? And I think that everybody, it's been the brunt of jokes. It's been the brunt of movies where people say, what's it all mean? Right. Why am I here? And all that. When people come to you and ask what Christianity is all about, what do you tell them?
Well, a lot of different contexts kind of determine, how that conversation goes.
True, yeah.
But when we are here, ultimately, we as Christians would say that we're here to glorify God. And the way that we go about doing that in our life gives profound shape to what we say yes to, what we say no to. It says a lot about how we live out the day-to-day lives, how we treat maybe the resources that we've been blessed with, how we interact with the folks who are around us, in and out through that. And so for those who are following Christ and asking those bigger questions, we have to go back and start with, hey, why were we created? Ultimately, we were created to glorify God. And when we are living outside of just pursuing pleasure for self and self-fulfillment, we actually can find life when we're living for God's glory.
So a lot of people might say there are a lot of different religions. And nowadays,
there are a lot of different religions.
And especially these days where we're all kind of connected. I have a daughter who's in her early 20s, 22 years old, and she says to me, but Dad, what makes Christianity better than Hindu, or better than this, or better than, and they think in terms of it being better or the right one. So it's like a deck of cards. Here's all the different religions of the world. Why is Christianity the one?
Sure. Maybe framing it outside of which one is better is a way to pursue that. So we want to look at what is true. When we look at the Christian faith, we are looking at a faith that is not defined by us. It's defined by God's word, which is his self-revelation to us, something outside of ourselves. But also Christianity is not about doing something to get this. Christianity is about something that has been done for us, and living from that place of what's been done for us helps us find fulfillment and satisfaction. But primarily when you look at Christianity, and why we would say it's true, is it's based on an actual historical person who really did live, who really did die, who really did rise again. And for someone exploring the Christian faith, what you have to look at is what are you going to do with the resurrection? And because if Jesus Christ really did rise from the dead, then you better take everything he said quite seriously.
Yeah.
And you mentioned not a list of rules. That's my words, not yours. When you were talking earlier, there's things we live by, but it isn't. If you do this and do this and do this and this and this and this and this,
right,
say a special prayer and stand on your head twice on a special day, then God will love you. God already loves us.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's the only one that died for me personally. So if, and then some theologian, someone smarter than I once, which is everybody, Tom, said, if Jesus didn't rise from the dead,
what's the point?
It's a nothing burger. Nothing burger's made. Is that fair?
Yeah. You know, I mean, really, the resurrection is a defining moment, and you have to decide what you're going to do with an actual historical person.
Yeah. So when I talk about Christianity, and I'll tell people that I'm a Christian person, and they say, well, tell me about prayers. You go, prayer doesn't even make sense. These are some of the arguments that people will make. Why is my prayer heard, or conceptually, is my prayer, does it have any more weight? Like if you pray, does it give it any more weight because you're
the
a pastor?
Prayed. Yeah, God's
right.
going to really hear that one.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's funny.
It's hard to get out of
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the words of Jesus himself. Okay. Right. Yeah. You know, and so I was talking with my kids this morning as we were eating breakfast, and echoing the words of Luke chapter 12, where it says, hey, look at the sparrows of the field and how much God cares for them. How much more will he provide for us? And so we come to our Father who is in heaven, who, before we even make that request known, knows what we need, and we can come with confidence. So it's not based upon me or me versus Steve.
Okay.
It's about, is your faith and trust in Jesus Christ alone that has given you access
there's
to your Father in heaven.
Simplicity to that, and we appreciate you coming, Josh. Redeemer Church, located where, Josh?
Across the street from Nottingham High School.
Sundays at 10. Don't dress up, because no one does. If you want to, go ahead. But and it's redeemerchurch.com/Syracuse. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have a conversation with Dr. Warren Hilton, president of Onondaga Community College, and Ryan Nellenbeck, the director of student onboarding at Onondaga Community College. All coming up in hour number 2. David Martin stops by, builder and owner of Martin Custom Homes. Sheila Ostrom, owner of Senior Home Care and Alzheimer's Solutions. And then Dr. Joe and Dr. Mike Fallon, the owners of Fallon and Fallon Dentistry, all in hour number 2. Stick around. It starts really soon.